this works. I'm told this is a really high quality speaker, and these I believe are from the news,
Okay.
which I'm gonna have to move.
Yeah,
because I
we'll have
my
to move
speech
because
a
I've
little
got mine
bit.
too.
Okay.
Maybe we can just like reposition it or something ahead of time.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get Ben to come do it.
Yeah. Let me, oh, well, hi. Absolutely. Well, she's gorgeous too. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So Lori is good. It's an adventure. Yeah. I will, and that's okay. Thanks for what you do. Where'd that come from? Well, that's impressive. That's impressive.
Marcos, which one is yours? This one or that one? What's this one? Okay.
We really need to make a little, just a little podium top right here for this thing, you know?
Just a little, yeah.
Yeah, just
We do.
even with a microphone clip on the front of it. Would be
Yeah.
This went right here. It's all in your binder too. Yeah. Any wetness up here?
Those are mine.
Thank you.
5-minute warning here.
Okay.
Hey, Ronnie, would you take a picture of me and her? Because that's the one picture she won't, neither of you. Yeah, would you? Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give you about a 5-minute notice. We're running just a few minutes behind.
All right, I was kidding about the 5 minutes. 2 more minutes, we'll be ready to go. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Tucson Fire Department Fallen Firefighter Memorial Ceremony. We are honored to have you all with us on this beautiful Tucson morning. Obviously, we were in a bit of a panic. That's why you're under a tent. If Susan, if you'll indulge me on the conversation we had a little bit this week. Pat Quinn loved coming into my office and busting my chops. And I told her when the rain was coming in and we were scrambling about what we were going to do, I said, "It's Pat." Yeah. She said, "Yeah, he's larger than life. He kind of took over up there, and they let him run the weather, and so he put some pressure on me, and then he took the pressure off me at the end. So I appreciate that. I'd like to take a few moments to recognize some of our dignitaries that are in the audience today. I did see Councilmember Kevin Dahl. If you could raise your hand. There he is in the back. Thank you, sir. Our brand new council member, Miranda Schubert. There you are. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. The rest of our City of Tucson and Pima County Public Safety partners, we appreciate you all joining us today. I do want to acknowledge a few other folks here. Everybody from the Memorial Committee, if you could please raise your hand. Thank you. Yeah, the planning for the ceremony starts in February. So we'll start again next month to plan for next year's event. And it is certainly a labor of love. Everybody works really hard to make this come to fruition. I even have Ted Gear, helping us with the weather as well. So thanks to Ted for that. He's got a lot of pull. Our Tucson Fire Cadets, you can see them over there, sharp-dressed group. They get here early in the morning to help set up, and they will be here later in the day to help clean up. So we appreciate them. We appreciate your service and professionalism. We're grateful to Serve Pro. They sit on the committee with us, Tina, and there she is over there. And they are providing lunch for everyone after the service. So join us in the room over here from El Charro. Thank you all very much. Special thanks to Paul Olesnovich. We call him Oli for obvious reasons, but he's responsible for all of the artwork around here. He's a world-class sculptor, internationally known. So he's responsible for all of that. Most importantly, I want to thank our families, the families of our fallen firefighters, for being here today. We're deeply honored to share this time with you and remember your loved ones alongside you. Each year we gather at this hallowed site to honor those who serve this city with courage, dedication, and pride as members of the Tucson Fire Department. While today is a solemn occasion, it is also time to remember, reflect, and celebrate the lives of service. Again, thank you all for being here. At this time, I ask that you all stand for the presentation of the colors by the Tucson Fire Honor Guard, accompanied by the pipes and drums. Gentlemen, bring us in.
Honor guard, attend, hip. Port, arms. Pipe major, by your command. Forward, march. Honor guard, uniform personnel, present, arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
Good morning. Please be seated. I'd like to invite you to join me in a word of prayer. Almighty God, we are gathered today to recognize, honor, and remember those who have laid down their lives in the service of others while serving this community as members of the Tucson Fire Department. As we remember their sacrifice, we are reminded of your Son who paid the ultimate sacrifice on the cross, laying down his life for ours, and we thank you for the love and hope that you freely offer to all. The Bible tells us that you are a God who understands and empathizes with our pain, suffering, and loss. The Bible also encourages us that you are a God who freely offers comfort to those who wish to receive it. God, we pray that you would comfort the friends, families, co-workers, and loved ones of those who are memorialized today. We pray especially for those whom the pain of loss is still all too near. God, please protect our first responders and our families. Please keep us safe and help us to serve our community selflessly, safely, and courageously like those who have gone before us. God, please bless this memorial of remembrance, our department, our community, and our nation. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Good morning, and thank you all for coming to honor our fallen brothers. My name is Victor Espinosa, and I am the Director of Member Services for the Tucson Firefighters Association Local 479. Last year was a very difficult year for our brothers and sisters of the local and Tucson Fire. It was a devastating year for the families of the brothers we lost. January is Cancer Awareness Month for firefighters. And in 2025, nearly 80% of IAFF member line of duty deaths are due to occupational cancer. Sadly, cancer claimed another one of our members last year, Chief Pat Quinn. When this memorial was built, I remember standing outside, looking at the names on the wall. I didn't know any of them. Then cancer claimed Inspector Tom Quisnell. Later it struck again, taking Captain Jackie Tejaro. And then again, Captain Tom McNamara. Today, we honor Chief Pat Quinn for his service to our great fire department and the ultimate sacrifice he made. Unfortunately, I now know the names being added to our memorial, and it breaks my heart, all of our hearts. I remember years ago while I was working at Station 7 telling a story about my 5th grade class that a firefighter had come into the classroom and sprayed us with CO2 extinguisher. Suddenly, I heard a loud voice and felt a huge hand strike my back. It was Chief Quinn. He started laughing and told me that the firefighter was him. He was friends with Mr. Hubbard, my teacher in my 5th grade class. And I told him that was Mr. Hubbard's first year teaching. He laughed again. And I could tell it struck him. I think he felt a little old. Thank you, Chief, for helping me choose this career. In more than 20 years as a firefighter, paramedic, and captain, I've had to speak with family members and friends when disaster struck, explaining that there was nothing more that could be done and that their loved one had passed. Telling a young mother that her baby is gone is among the most difficult things I've ever had to do in my career. But these past 2 years, as a director of member services, helping the families of our fallen brothers and sisters has been on a different level entirely. Last year, we lost another great firefighter to tragedy. Firefighter Benjamin Call. I only had the privilege of working with him a handful of times, but hearing the stories they shared at his services made it clear he was an amazing person. It is different when it's one of our own, speaking with his family, feeling the heartbreak. We were all crushed, and we still are. The local will always be there to make our job safer and to stand with our brothers and sisters and their families in their time of need. Please don't ever take each other for granted. Before going on duty, give your loved one an extra kiss, a tighter hug, and let them know you love them. To the families here today who have suffered the loss of their firefighter, thank you. And from all of us, we are truly sorry. We will forever remember and honor them so that when someone else stands in front of this memorial years from now, as I did once, they will see the names of these great firefighters and they will never be forgotten. Thank you and God bless.
Good morning. Our mayor was unable to join us today, so she did ask me to read this quote. She shares that I greatly value the service of firefighters and first responders. I know what this day means to everyone serving here, and I honor the commitment of the work that you do. I also appreciate the family of those serving. They serve alongside you and make many of the same sacrifices. I regret not being able to join you today. Please know how much I value the contributions you make to our city. We gather today united by remembrance, respect, and gratitude. This annual memorial is a tradition in our department and in our profession. It's a time to gather and to honor those we have lost. Today, we take time from our busy lives to pay tribute to those who have died in the line of duty, members we have lost during active duty, and those who served faithfully for many years and later passing on in an abbreviated retirement. Every individual that we honor here shared a selfless commitment to put others first with quiet, unwavering bravery. Their courage and sacrifice represent the very highest calling of this profession. They accepted the risk of the job and stood in harm's way so that others could find safety. Their service will forever define what it means to wear this badge. Though their time was cut short, their names and their sacrifice will never fade from our memory, no matter how much time has passed. Their families will forever be a part of ours. Some passed in the active moments of the firefight, and some passed after the fire was long extinguished, their bodies harmed by work and exposure. Today, we celebrate the lives and sacrifices of 8 men and women who died in the line of duty. Some I know only the details of what has been passed on. Some I knew personally, all of whom affected the lives of many around them. Assistant Chief William Katzenstein, who served as a police officer for the Tucson Police Department and worked as a volunteer for the Tucson Fire Department. He was our first line of duty death. Hostman Fred Van Camp sadly didn't make it home during his 8th year of working. Firefighter Edward Bell fought the Key Corvette Corner fire that claimed his life 7 years later. Firefighter Sam McAnally, the top recruit of his class in 1969, served as an honored member of our department for 18 years. Fire Inspector Tom Kuznell, who joined TFD in the class just before mine, was respected by many as a pioneer in the arson dog program. He showed up at every fire offering expertise and providing careful, well-informed assessments and teaching many of our field troops along the way. His service and efforts made an indelible mark on our fire investigation program that lives on today. Fire Captain Jackie DeHaro, who graduated from her academy on the day that my daughter was born. A woman who brought determination, kindness, and cheer to the academy, and who as a captain took time to know, understand, and mentor those on her crew. She offered meaningful feedback and guidance and consistently advocated for their welfare. She taught grace and kindness by exhibiting it. Her legacy remains in those she loved, parented, and led. Fire Captain Tom McNamara, a man who so many of us looked up to as he filled the role of training captain and never stopped coaching and mentoring after that. Tom led from the front with undeniable ethics and grace and approached every scene with the kind of hard-earned expertise that instilled calm and confidence. He taught me lessons and offered guidance on day one and never stopped even into retirement. Though he never sought it, he was a true icon in our department, and many will remember him fondly and with deep respect. And finally, Battalion Chief Pat Quinn, who is added to our memorial today. Pat served in so many roles across the TFD. I knew him best as Firefighter Pat, as I served as Captain Danger. We taught children of our community important safety messages. He brought levity and grace and knowledge to every role he took. He was a renowned arson specialist. He wrote policy, and he created the deputy chief position for the Tucson Fire Department and held the deputy chief #1 badge for many years before he returned to the field to close out his career. Pat contributed greatly to every role. He was a big positive force who challenged all of our leadership to be better at what they do. He was a voice that will be remembered for eternity. We also honor a member who passed away recently off duty while an active member of the Tucson Fire Department. While his final moments were not in uniform, his life was defined by service and a deep commitment to his wife and children. Firefighter Ben Call set the example of the type of dedicated, humble, hardworking person that we all strive to be. Each of these members was a firefighter every day in every sense of the word. Their oath was not set aside at the end of a shift. Their loss is felt deeply, and their commitment to this department and community will live on. Each of these members contributed to the foundation on which we all stand today. Through years of service, leadership, and mentorship, they shaped this department and left behind a legacy that continues to guide us. Their influence is felt in our policies, our culture, and our shared sense of duty. We must never forget that behind every badge was a son or daughter, a spouse or partner, a parent, a sibling, and a friend. To the families of the fallen, please know above all else, you are not alone. You will always, always remain part of the TFD family. Grief does not follow a schedule, and neither does our support. We will continue to stand with you. Your loved one's service and sacrifice will never be confined to a single ceremony or defined by a space and time. Thank you for sharing them with us, with our community, allowing them to serve. Their memory lives on, their names are spoken with respect, and their service will never be forgotten. To the members of this department, both past and present, thank you for being here to honor those who have gone before us. Let today serve as a reminder of the responsibility that we carry. Let us honor their legacy, not just in ceremonies, but through how we conduct ourselves every day, through our integrity, professionalism, and the care for our community. We ensure that their sacrifice and their service are not in vain. May we never forget them. May we always, always honor them. And may their memory remain a guiding light for this department today and always. Thank you.
It is now my honor to introduce you to our keynote speaker today. Dr. Lori Moore Merrill served as the U.S. Fire Administrator from October 2021 to January 2025, where she led transformative national and global fire service initiatives, including the launch of the National Emergency Response Information System, NERIS, replacing a nearly 50-year-old legacy data platform, and modernizing emergency response analytics nationwide. She co-chaired the Commission on Wildfire Mitigation and Management established by the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, delivering 148 wildfire-related recommendations to Congress in 2023, and founded and chaired the inaugural World Fire Congress in 2024, convening international fire service leaders under DHS, FEMA, and U.S. Department of State. A recognized change agent and champion of Fire Service One Voice, she previously served as president and CEO of the International Public Safety Data Institute and spent more than 25 years with the International Association of Firefighters as Chief Executive of Research and Data Analytics. Dr. Moore-Merrill holds a doctorate and Master of Public Health from the George Washington University and has received numerous national honors for her leadership. She continues to shape public safety innovation through service on multiple boards and advisory councils across the emergency response and wildfire mitigation sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lori Moore-Merrill.
Good morning. Thank you for the privilege of standing with you today in this sacred space. Before us stands a bronze firefighter with his helmet over his heart and his gaze fixed upon a granite wall, a wall that bears the names of firefighters who gave everything in service to Tucson. Names etched in stone, spanning nearly 150 years of courage and sacrifice. We gather here today, though, not just to remember how they died, but to honor how they lived, to commit ourselves to protecting those who still serve. And today specifically, we honor Battalion Chief Patrick Quinn, following a battle with cancer, and firefighter Benjamin Call, who died tragically and far too soon. Both men are remembered for their commitment to protecting the Tucson community. But it is fitting, and as you've already heard this morning, January is Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month. Because today we must speak a difficult truth about the nature of line of duty death for firefighters in our time. For most of our history, we've understood that firefighters sacrifice in terms of flames and smoke, buildings that collapsed, and rescues that demanded far too much from them. We built memorials to honor those who fell in the line of duty of men and women who took action to intervene and stop bad things that were happening. Though far too many firefighters still perish during active emergency scenes, the fire service faces an enemy today that wears no flame, makes no sound, and it attacks in silence over years and decades. Occupational cancer has become the leading cause of line of duty death in firefighters. And in 2025, as you just heard, 79% of firefighters who died in the line of duty died from occupational cancer. Let that number settle in for just a moment. 79%. In 2022, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, or we call it IARC, which is the Cancer Research Division of the World Health Organization, they issued a classification that changed everything. After reviewing decades of evidence, they declared occupational exposure as a firefighter as a carcinogen to humans. Not possibly carcinogenic, not probably carcinogenic, definitely carcinogenic. A group 1 classification, the same category as asbestos and tobacco. Cancer is an enemy that attacks firefighters through their exposures, and we're only beginning to understand the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, the benzenes, the per and the polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS, those forever chemicals that accumulate in firefighters' bodies at every call. The nature of line of duty death has changed, and our response to it has to also change. Today, as we remember the sacrifice with great gratitude of those that have fallen, through our grief, we must transform it to hope. This is where Tucson has chosen to lead. For decades, this department has partnered with the University of Arizona and Dr. Jeff Burgess, who's here today, and the Mel and Enid Zuckerman College of Public Health to conduct groundbreaking research on firefighter cancer risk. Not somewhere else, not for someone else, right here in Tucson, for firefighters of Tucson. And through that work, there's hope for firefighters across the nation and around the world. This partnership has produced discoveries that are changing the fire service. Dr. Burgess and his team have documented how firefighting causes epigenetic changes or alterations in how our genes function that appear within the first 2 or 3 years of a firefighter's career. That's how early we're starting to see the changes that can lead to cancer. They've identified pathways through which exposures become disease. They've measured the forever chemicals that accumulate in a firefighter's blood, and they've shown how these exposures accelerate biological aging at the cellular level. But more importantly, and this is where hope lives, they have identified interventions that work. The research conducted right here in Tucson provided critical evidence to IARC, or the Interagency on Research for Cancer, and their classification. Because when IARC convened 25 international experts from 8 countries around the world, Dr. Burgess served as one of 3 specialists that were called. Several of those studies that show how firefighter exposures meet characteristics of carcinogens came from the work done in partnership with this department. Tucson Fire Department has become a national leader in firefighter cancer research, and a leadership is saving lives. Your occupational health program, informed by the research conducted here, is detecting cancers in earlier stages when treatment is most effective, when outcomes are most helpful. Chief McDonough has advocated for this partnership and its ability to catch disease early in firefighters and greater potential for positive outcomes. Research that has shown how improved use of respiratory protection, proper decontamination procedures, and immediate washdown of gear on the fire ground reduces absorption of cancer-causing chemicals. These aren't just theoretical findings. These are practical interventions that firefighters can implement on every call. This is how we honor our fallen, not just with our words, but with action, not just with memory, but with prevention of the next. Standing here before this memorial, we have to ask ourselves, what do we owe the names that are on this wall? What do we owe Battalion Chief Quinn and many others whose death remind us that this battle continues? We owe them our vigilance. We owe them a commitment to continued research, to asking the hard questions about exposures and interventions, early detection and prevention. The firefighter cancer cohort study that Dr. Burgess now includes more than 8,500 firefighters from across the nation. Started here in Tucson. This work must continue. It has to expand. It has to keep going. We owe them a culture of change in the fire service. For far too long and across the nation, we wore our exposures like badges of honor. We wore soot-stained gear, the smell of smoke on our clothes and on our hair and on our skin. But courage is not measured by exposure. Courage is measured by our willingness to protect ourselves so that we can protect others. Decontamination is not weakness, it's wisdom. Using your SCBA during an overhaul operation after a fire is not cautious, it's tactical. We owe them leadership that prioritizes health alongside readiness, that understands that a cancer diagnosis 20 years from now is as much a line of duty injury as a wound that's sustained on the fire ground today. And we owe them hope. Hope that the next generation of firefighters will face different odds. Hope that research being conducted today yields prevention and early interventions tomorrow. Hope that every firefighter who puts on the uniform has access to cancer screening, to occupational health programs, to departments who understand their duty to care for firefighters extend beyond the fire ground. It extends to the cellular level. The University of Arizona and their researchers are now testing whether blood plasma donation can reduce PFAS in the blood levels of firefighters. This is huge, and offering practical intervention that could make a measurable difference. They're using the epigenetic clocks to measure biological aging, to identify who's at highest risk. They're studying wildland firefighters and women firefighters and the specific pathways that lead from exposure to disease. This is how we transform loss into legacy. This is how we ensure that the names on this wall are never forgotten, not just by commemorating their sacrifice, but preventing future names from being added. I want you to look again at this bronze firefighter. His gaze never wavers from that granite wall. And he watches over us too, the living, to see what we're going to do with the knowledge that we've gained, the lessons that have been learned through loss. What will he see? Will he see a fire service that accepts cancer as an inevitable cost of the job? Or will he see firefighters who stand together and say, no more, not on our watch? We will honor you through prevention, through early detection, through research, through vigilance, through cultural change that protects those who protect others. Let him see firefighters that use their SCBA during overhaul, decontaminating immediately on the fire ground, understanding that protecting themselves is not an act of fear, it's an act of love. Love for their families, love for their communities, and love for the brothers and sisters that depend on them. Let him see a fire service that's transformed by knowledge, strengthened by research, committed to the proposition that we can do this dangerous work without accepting unnecessary risk. We can be both brave and wise. This is a promise that we must make to the fallen. This is how we honor their memory, not through silence, not through acceptance, but through action and relentless evidence-based life-saving action. To the families of the fallen this morning, we see your sacrifice. We will never forget. And we'll work each day to ensure that your loss leads to life for others. To the members of this Tucson Fire Department, you have led a nation in firefighter cancer research. Continue that leadership. Your partnership with the University of Arizona is a model for the entire nation's fire service. Your commitment to early detection and prevention is saving lives. Your commitment to mental health is also being noticed. Keep pushing forward. To firefighters everywhere, you are owed the best science, the best interventions, the best occupational health programs that we can provide. Demand them, use them, and protect yourself so that you can protect others. The firefighter in bronze will keep his watch. The names on this granite wall will endure. But this story is not finished. The next chapter is being written by researchers in laboratories, by firefighters implementing the interventions, the decontamination protocols, and by departments who are investing in occupational health, and by every intervention that reduces exposure, by every early cancer detection that saves a life. May we all be proven worthy of their sacrifices. May we honor their memory through lives that are saved. May we also keep watch, be as faithful as the bronze firefighter's gaze, unwavering and committed and full of hope, where fewer names are added to walls like this one. Rest in peace to all who have fallen. We have the watch. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nick Quinn, and this is my brother Dan Quinn. We're the sons of Patrick Quinn. Early in the morning of March 2nd, 2025, the four winds took Patrick Quinn swiftly home. That's the reason we're gathered here today. As much as I would like to say I brought my family to Tucson from the cold Minnesota weather, the truth is we're here to honor Pat and to honor the others who gave their lives in service of the fire department. Every life remembered today was taken far too soon. Pat probably dedicated 37 years of his life to the Tucson Fire Department. Retiring in March of 2022, he had big plans after retirement, fully embracing the snowbird life, summers in Minnesota and winters in Arizona. He talked about these plans often, imagining the years ahead. Unfortunately, that future never came to be. On November 11th, 2024, during a hunting trip in Minnesota, Pat began having seizures. That moment changed everything. He was admitted to Abbott Northwestern Hospital in Minneapolis, one of the world's leading neurological centers. It was there we learned Pat had developed glioblastoma brain cancer, a result of his time in the fire service. We knew the stakes were high from the start, but on November 21st, when his chemo doctor informed us how little time he had left, the mentality surrounding Pat's care plan shifted from hoping for more years, but instead to maximizing what little quality time we could get with him. The wheel is turning, and you can't slow down. You just have to keep on trucking. Throughout it all, Pat remained who he always was, staying positive, cracking jokes, and remaining proud of his career with the Tucson Fire Department. When Pat was first diagnosed, he started writing a list of people from the department he wanted contacted. At first, I did not want to make those calls. These are people I had known my whole life, and once I started dialing, the reality of what we were facing would become real. But almost immediately, that fear faded. The support, love, and strength that poured in reminded us that the fire department is more than a job. It is a family, and that family showed tremendous support for Pat and for all of us. From the very beginning of his career, Pat carried immense pride in being a firefighter. That pride never wavered. Even in hospice, he spoke often about how honored he was to have served. He had no regrets, even knowing that the job he loved would ultimately lead to his death. He said he would do it all over again and that he had so much fun along the way. Pat built lifelong friendships during his career, friendships that became family. One firefighter said it perfectly. When Pat signed up for the job, he knew the fire wouldn't take him, but it'd be the secondary exposures. That knowledge never scared him away. He accepted the risk because he believed in the mission and the people he worked alongside. Pat's career within the fire service allowed him to experience nearly every role. Shortly after graduating from the academy, he joined the hazmat team. Later became an arson investigator. That work was his perfect calling. He loved the complexity and the challenge solving each case. He especially enjoyed working alongside police officers and colleagues to determine exactly how and why fires started. His passion for the work led him to teach arson investigation and later to fire and injury prevention with the hotspot team. Giving back through education meant a great deal to him. Dad, Pat, Chief, whatever you may have called him, his absence will be felt by all of us, and yet he is still with us. In the lessons he taught, the example he set, and the stories we continue to share. The last goodbye is the hardest to say, but Pat's story does not end here. Let it be known there is a fountain. When you are sad and when you are lonely, when the storm clouds gather around you, remember that death is not the end. With a helping hand to lend, the tree of life continues to grow, where the spirit never dies and the bright light still shines in dark and empty skies. I want to close by thanking all of you who are here today and those of us who are joining on the stream. Thank you for giving your time, your presence, and your love.
Good morning, family, friends, dignitaries, Tucson community. I'm Deputy Chief Greg Hoffman, and I'm honored today to be performing the reading of the names. We'll begin by reading the names and service dates of the Tucson Fire Department line of duty deaths. Assistant Chief William Katzenstein, last alarm, July 26, 1902. Service dates, November 1, 1899 to July 26, 1902. Chief David John Jack Boleyn, last alarm, November 18, 1910. Service dates, June 1, 1881 to November 18, 1910. Bozeman Fred L. Van Camp. Last alarm, July 8, 1946. Service dates, June 9, 1938 to July 8, 1946. Firefighter Edward H. Bell. Last alarm, December 7, 1979. Service dates, October 26, 1959 to June 26, 1973. Firefighter Samuel M. McAnally. Last alarm, July 14, 1987. Service dates, October 27th, 1969 to July 14, 1987. Fire investigator Tom Quesnell. Last alarm, March 14, 2014. Service dates, September 18, 1989 to March 14, 2014. Captain Jackie J. DeHaro. Last alarm, June 13, 2020. Service dates, June 29, 1998 to September 27, 2019. Captain Thomas Tom M. McNamara. Last alarm, June 21, 2022. Service dates, December 3rd, 1979 to January 28th, 2010. Battalion Chief Patrick Pat Quinn. Last alarm, March 3rd, 2025. Service dates, July 22nd, 1985 to March 24th, 2022. We will now read the name of the firefighter who we lost this past year during active duty. Firefighter Benjamin Ben Call. Last alarm, October 26, 2025. Service dates, February 24, 2023 to October 26, 2025. Although they retire from the department, we still hold them very close to our hearts. We'll now read the retired members who passed away over this last year. Fire Captain Glenn Carlton. Last alarm, January 16, 2025. Service dates, January 15, 1962 to January 4, 1989. Battalion Chief Scott Kraus. Last alarm, February 23rd, 2025. Service dates, June 28, 1982 to October 2nd, 2015. Fire Captain Lawrence Burkett. Last alarm, March 12th, 2025. Service dates, July 12th, 1971 to July 30, 2001. Fire Captain Gail Page. Last alarm, March 30th, 2025. Service dates, June 20, 1966 to August 30, 1989. Fire Engineer Renee Cabrera. Last alarm, April 16, 2025. Service dates, May 23rd, 1968 to May 22nd, 1999. Fire Captain Ronald Gary, last alarm, May 14th, 2025. Service dates, February 4, 1974 to May 30, 1997. Fire Inspector Larry Lakey, last alarm, June 25, 2025. Service dates, January 30th, 1984 to January 28th, 2009. Battalion Chief Frank Santoro, last alarm, August 2nd, 2025. Service dates, July 10, 1961 to June 30, 1986. Fire Captain Edward Ed Stevens, last alarm, August 3rd, 2025. Service dates, July 21, 1997 to November 22nd, 2019. Assistant Chief Warren Shoemaker, last alarm, August 8, 2025. Service dates, July 22nd, 1963 to July 31, 1987. Fire Engineer Bud Bushy, last alarm, August 30th, 2025. Service dates, October 12th, 1970 to May 30th, 1997. Fire Captain Robert Sanford Sr., last alarm, September 25th, 2025. Service dates, June 20th, 1966 to May 30th, 1998. Fire Engineer Steve Regressor, last alarm, November 1, 2025. Service dates, June 3rd, 1991 to July 1, 2016. Firefighter Absalom Valenzuela, last alarm, November 4th, 2025. Service dates, October 5th, 1959 to July 29th, 1986. Firefighter Larry Stafford, last alarm, November 9th, 2025. Service dates, September 18th, 1989 to February 2nd, 1997. That concludes the reading of the names, and we'll now move on to the rose ceremony. Red roses have long been associated with the representing of love. Giving a single red rose symbolizes the giving of your heart. A single red rose will now be placed at the memorial for each member of the Tucson Fire Department that we have lost in the line of duty, while Sophia Rankin sings the morning song, The Parting Glass. The placement of the rose is a sign of respect and honor, of the memory for those that we knew, worked with, and loved, that paid the ultimate price for doing the job they loved and protecting the community that they served. Thank you.
Oh, money, I spent it in good company, and all along there I got the last there was to none of me, and all I've done along the way to marry now. I can't afford so fill to me the party glass. Night and joy, feel it wish me one more day to stay. But since it calls into my life that I should rise and you should not come to me, the parting glass, good night and joy be with you. A man may drink and not be drunk. A man may fight and not be slain. A man may call a pretty girl and perhaps be welcome back again. But since it has so ought to be, by a time to rise and a time to fall, come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. But since it has so to be by a time to rise and a time to fall, come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you. Good night and joy be with you.
Freeze it. On.
The bell ceremony. Throughout most of history, the life of a firefighter has closely associated with the ringing of a bell. As he began his tour of duty, it was the bell that started the shift. Throughout the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell, which called him to duty and to place his life in jeopardy for the good of his fellow man. And when the call had ended and the alarm was completed, it was the bell that rang 3 times to signal the end. And now our brother, Battalion Chief Pat Francis Quinn, has completed his tasks, his duties well done, and the bell rings 3 times, followed by a pause, 3 times, followed by a pause, and 3 more, in memory of and in tribute to his life and service. Present arms. Order, arms.
You may have noticed our line of duty streamers attached to the Tucson Fire Department flag. They're the names of the Tucson firefighters that have given the ultimate sacrifice. You have maybe wondered the significance of the streamer is to us. The tradition comes from military campaign streamers, which recall the campaigns that they had fought in. The streamers become a living thing and testament for them, as they invoke memories of those campaigns and of their brothers and sisters who did not survive. In public safety, we use line of duty streamers to honor, to remember, and to celebrate our brothers and sisters who have given the ultimate in the line of duty. These streamers travel with the flag to public events, to academy graduations, promotional ceremonies, parades, and most any other event. Our streamers are considered a living thing because of the symbolism and because they have been passed through the hands of the family members, the crew members today, and in the future. For us, these streamers visually give us a message. The streamer reminds us of Pat's personal sacrifice of the job. The streamer reminds us that even through our training, that we are always vulnerable to the sudden shifts and conditions around us. And just as importantly, these streamers remind us to tell the stories, all the stories, both funny and sad. It is said that people die twice. The first time, when their last breath leaves their body. And the second time, when we stop telling their stories. When we stop saying their name out loud. So let's keep saying his name, Patrick Quinn. Honor, remember, and celebrate.
Honor guard, uniform personnel, attend. Present. On. Order. On. Appropriate. Press. Right, Major. By your command.
Fire alarm to Battalion Chief Patrick Quinn. Fire alarm to Battalion Chief Patrick Quinn. There is no response from Battalion Chief Patrick Quinn. The city of Tucson and its citizens are in your debt for your 37 years of service as a firefighter, inspector, captain, and battalion chief. This is your final assignment. Respond to 300 South Fire Central Place, where your final duty will be to watch over your family, friends, and fellow firefighters. Battalion Chief Patrick Francis Quinn, may you rest in peace. We have your back.
Thank you all for coming this morning. That concludes our ceremony. For those staying for lunch, be directly behind me in room 121. For those heading home, please drive safely. God bless.
Okay.